My name is Isaac and this is the Izan Educators. We are going to deal with this unit. It is stores management and store control, and this is our lesson 1. So we'll go direct to the point. So on our today's objectives, we want to know what is materials management. You want to ask ourselves what is material management. Then you're also going to learn about the scope of material management, and also you're going to learn about the relationship between material management and other departments. So basically those will be our objectives for today. So hope this video tutorial will be of great help to you. So when you talk about material management, what is material management? So basically material management is a distinct process of managing material supply, as in just managing the material supply. That is what we entail as material management. So the material management scope, this is what material management entails. So it entails material planning and programming. It also entails purchasing and inventory control. When you talk about purchasing, this is where you buy, maybe you buy the goods and they are supplied maybe to your company or your factory. When you talk about inventory control, this is where we record goods. Maybe if we have bought these goods on maybe on 21st May 2022, so we record them, and maybe we also record their flow if they have been sold on this date. That is basically the inventory control. Then you also will be talking about receiving of materials. So basically when you procure goods and services, they have to be maybe supplied to your company, so you have to receive the materials. So there are various processes of receiving the materials. So we also have transportation and material handling. Basically, as the word suggests, transportation is just transporting goods maybe from one place to the other. Material handling, it involves just maintaining the materials. Maybe the materials are in a store. Maybe how are they supposed to be maintained? Yeah, we'll also be talking about disposal of scrap and surplus. So when you talk about scrap, these are materials that their lifespan has already expired. So they have to be, maybe they have, how do we dispose them? Maybe you can dispose of them maybe by donating maybe to somewhere, or yeah, just recycling. You see, that is disposal of scrap. Scrap materials are the materials maybe they have been used and they have their lifespan of their use have expired. So about the surplus, these are excess goods. So you're going to know how to deal with these excess goods. So this is what we are going to start with. We are going to start with the relationship between material management and other departments. So when you talk about material management, as we have said, we have defined what is material departments. So this, how do materials management relate to other departments? So you have various departments. Maybe you have the engineering department, the financial department, the production department. You also have the marketing department. So departments are very broad, but for today we are going to discuss about these four, how material management is related to these four departments. So when you talk about engineering, maybe how do material management relate to engineering department? So it is specified, the material management specify the materials required by the engineering department. So it is specifies, as in, like maybe engineering department, maybe we are dealing with an engineering department maybe that deals with electrical appliances or maybe electronics. So the material management will specify the materials. So what the materials management basically deal with is they get to find the goods of the right quality, the goods of the right quantity from the right source, and from the right source. So they have to identify maybe the right quality, maybe electronics or maybe electrical appliances for the engineering department. So when you talk about also finance department, so the finance department, how do material management relate with maybe the finance department? The finance department pays for the bills for all the materials required. So as you have said earlier, that material management specify the materials. So after the material management has specified the material, they have specified maybe where the materials are going to be obtained from, the amount of money required for the materials to be purchased or to be procured. So it is the work of the finance department to pay for the bills of the material required. So what material management does is they specify or they identify, and then the finance department pays for the bills. So you have the production department. So the production department, these are departments which transform the materials acquired into finished products. They transform the materials acquired into finished products. So as you are talking about the relationship between material management and other departments, so when the material management acquires the materials, maybe they have already procured the materials, have already maybe got into the factory. So what the production department does, they transform the materials acquired into finished products. For instance, when you're talking about tea, so we have the tea, we have the normal tea that comes as raw materials. So it have to undergo maybe processing for the tea leaves, maybe to become the tea leaves, the final product. So the material management specify where are we going to get these raw materials, where are we going to get these tea leaves. So after they have come into the factory, it is the work of the production department to transform the raw materials, maybe that the tea leaves, into finished products. So next we have the marketing department. So basically what the marketing department, as the word suggests, they sells the finished goods, as in they market for the goods. For instance, as you have given this example, the material management maybe acquires the tea leaves, they brings it to the factory or to the processing factory. The production department transform the materials into finished products, and then after they have transformed the materials into finished products. So these products have to be sold. So it is the work of the marketing department to market for the sales so that they can be bought. So I hope those points were understood. We'll move on objectives of material management. What is the objectives? When you talk about objectives, it means we're also talking about the aims. What are the aims of materials management? So we are going to discuss maybe a few of them. You're going to start with minimizing cost of production and distribution. So as a business, maybe when you are dealing with a business or a company, their main aim is to maximize on profit and minimize on cost of production. So it is the work of the material management to minimize the cost of production. And how do they do this? Through efficient procurement. So they have to end it. So when you are procuring goods, you have to go for the least reasonable price, you see, but the goods have to be of high quality. Then through this, they will minimize on the cost of production, and as a result, the end product will gain higher profits. You see, the sales will be at a higher price than the cost of production, and hence this leads maybe to a higher gross profit, and at the end of it all, it will lead to a higher net profit. So the point number 2, it helps the enterprise in attaining its objectives. So how do the materials management help the enterprise to attain its objectives? Maybe they can liaise with the various departments to achieve its objective. By liaising with the various departments to achieve its objectives, as you have said earlier, we have talked about the relationship between materials management and other departments. So it have to ensure that their relationship is it is favorable. So those various departments will end up maybe doing great, and as a result, it will lead to the achievement of the enterprise's objectives. So point number 3, it ensures economic procurement. So when you talk about economic procurement, it basically involves, when you're procuring goods, it has to be economical. It doesn't have to be maybe too costly or too maybe less cost. It have to be maybe at a favorable price. For example, when they are buying materials, how do they ensure economic procurement? As you can see on your screen, for example, by buying materials of the right quality, right quantity, at the right time, from the right place. So you have seen these are the R's of procurement, the right quality. So when you talk about quality, it means fitness for use. Does that good qualify maybe to be used? When you talk about the right quantity, it means that the goods must not be of success. Maybe the goods must not be surplus, or the goods must not be maybe lower than the required goods. When you talk about the right time, this is the time. The right time, we talk about the right lead time. So the right lead time, it is the time elapsed between the time you have procured your goods and the time maybe those goods have been supplied into your business or your company. So they have to ensure that the right time is observed, and then from the right place. You see, you have to ensure that you have procured your goods from the right place. Why? Because we have some suppliers maybe who are not even ISO certified. This means that maybe they are not eligible, they are not even qualified, they are not even registered. You see, when you obtain goods from such sources, you may end up maybe causing conflicts. You may end up maybe even losing your goods. So they have to ensure that the goods obtained have come from the right place. So point number 4, maintaining ethical standards in the organization. Basically, when you talk about ethical, what do you mean by ethical standards? So ethical standards, these are the generally accepted behaviors in a business. You see, the generally accepted behavior. So when you talk about the generally accepted behavior, maybe even in a society, there are some things that you cannot do in a society, you see, and there are some things that you can do in a society. For example, when you talk about, when you're dealing with business, they have to ensure that there is no corruption in material handling. So when you talk about material handling, you see that some people, even there are some people who are employed maybe in the warehouses, so they have to ensure that the ethical standards are maintained. Because why? Because those people maybe they can end up corrupting, maybe taking goods from the warehouses without recording for their own financial benefits. You see, they have to maintain that the ethical standards in an organization are highly maintained. So that is the maintenance. So we have point number 5, establishing good buyer-seller relationship. So when you talk about good buyer-seller relationship, you see, as a buyer, I have to ensure that I am in good terms with the seller, so that maybe the seller will always maybe bring in goods at the right time, because you have a good relationship. You see, they will also be bringing goods of high quality because you have a very good relationship. They'll also be bringing goods at the right time because you have a good relationship. So how can the material management achieve this? So this can be achieved by ensuring that the sellers over the buyer goods of high quality, quantity, and also at the right time. So when they do this, they will create a good relationship between the buyer and the seller. So lastly, we have ensuring that there is efficient control of the inventory. So this basically involves proper recording of the flow of materials. So if maybe the goods have been procured, this is the goods that they have entered into the warehouse, and this is how the flow of goods have been happening. Maybe if you are dealing with equipment, you have to maintain an inventory stating that maybe this inventory was bought maybe on 21st May 2007, and then you have to ensure that there is a clear inventory that shows how has this equipment been used. Maybe it was borrowed at this time, it was returned at this time, it was at maybe it was at this state, and it has been returned on this state. So basically that is what we call about inventory control. So that marks the end of this lesson. I hope it was great and enjoying. I hope that you have understood. Today we are dealing with the lesson 1, that is stores management and store control. So we'll still continue with lesson 2, lesson 3, and so on and so forth. So today you have learned about today's objectives. What is materials management? You have defined what is materials management. You have also learned about the scope of material management, basically what does material and management involves. And also lastly, you have learned about the relationship between materials management and also other departments. So I hope this lesson was enjoyable to you. So if you like these video tutorials, you can support by subscribing. You can also share. Feel free also to comment, maybe on the comment section, maybe what do you want to be maybe asked to do as a tutorial, or what do you want us to improve on. So we'll be so much grateful maybe when you see people maybe they are benefiting from this video tutorial. So we'll still continue with the stores management lesson 2, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching this video tutorial, and I hope it was of benefit to you. Thank you very much.